All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Finding the Fantastic Podcast. That sounded really weird. That's okay. It's cool. We're going to roll with it. Finding the Fantastic Podcast is all about finding something fantastic in between the hustle of surviving life and achieving it. It's not necessarily that super motivational thing where I'm like, it's how bad you want it. It's how deep you gotta dig to get there. No, I'm not about all that. In fact, when I used to watch shows, when I need to be motivated, it just pissed me off. That's all they did. I mean, they're good for a time and a place, but let's face it, we're all just trying to get through this thing called life. This thing called life that, let's face it again, sucks sometimes. And I know it's all about perspective, but there are things that just make it suck. Whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, all of this stuff that caves in on you at one time, it just can. So I'm like, let's talk about it. Mainly, let's talk about things that happen to me, which I know is selfish, but that's really how this whole thing started, was to help me get through the day. So hopefully it helps you get through the day. I want to talk about goal setting and being valued for the goal setting. Wow, that sounded much better when I was like, that's what I'm going to talk about. Today, at a cool networking thing I go to called Net 2.0, we talked about goal setting, okay? Super, thanks for the lipstick, Jennifer Surlis. Yeah, girl, put them little lips on today. I was like, let's try that out. Anyways, all right, focus, Colleen. Focus, squirrel. We were talking about goal setting, right? And it's like, you gotta set goals, man, and that's how you achieve those goals, by setting the goals, and set impossible goals you think could never actually happen. Why? Because they might just happen, right? And we're all talking about it, and, one of my things with goal setting isn't necessarily setting the goals and setting, impossible goals, right? That's not, what my struggle is. My struggle is when I set the goal, I actually don't feel like I'm worthy of the goal or valuable for the goal. I wish I could describe that a little bit better, but it's basically like, I don't know, if I set a goal where, let's say I set a goal to do a couple podcasts, right? And I do the couple podcasts, and then I look back at the podcast and I'm like, that wasn't worth it. That wasn't valuable. That wasn't, worthy of a podcast. So that was a pathetic goal. And I'm like, well, damn, how am I supposed to set goals and feel worthy of my goals? Right? I mean, does anybody else struggle with that? I mean, it's kind of like steak and mashed potatoes, okay? Let's say you've got this awesome steak, right? It is just cooked so beautifully and you're ready to eat it. And it comes with a side of mashed potatoes. But the mashed potatoes aren't as good as the steak. The mashed potatoes aren't worthy of the steak. It doesn't work unless both of them fit perfectly. Why? Because it's like the mashed potatoes leave a bad flavor in your mouth and it ruins the steak. That's kind of how I view goals sometimes, because I'm like, I can set them and I can try to achieve them and whatnot, but I just don't feel valuable for them. I don't feel like I'm worthy of achieving the goal. Not to say I won't. For all you people who are about to be like, oh my God, you can do it. I appreciate you and I would totally take that support. But I'm just saying, does anybody else feel that way? It's not necessarily setting the impossible goal. You're willing to set the impossible goal, but you just don't feel like you're worth it. So for instance, one of my goals is to one day be either on a talk show. Ellen, if you're out there, girl, I'd love to be on your show. On a TED Talk people, if you're out there, I'd love to be on your show. Running my own official podcast for my podcast people out there. If you're out there, let me know. Those are some of my cool goals. I don't think they're impossible. In fact, I think they're within view. But I look back at my stuff and I'm like, I don't know if I'm worthy of it. I don't know if I'm valuable enough in there. Does that make sense? I don't know. I mean, mashed potato and steak is pretty much, that was the best example I had to give you about the way my brain was working for all of that. Anyways, what's some of your impossible goals? Let me know. Or more or less, let me know what makes you feel weird about setting the impossible goals. Is it the fact that you just don't think you'll achieve them? Or is it the fact that you, like me, you just don't know if you're worth it? If you're worth the impossible goal? Are you worth the steak? Are you the mashed potato? Worthy of the steak is the best way to put it. If my goal is a steak, am I going to come out as some nice, thick, creamy, garlicky mashed potatoes, because I am part Italian, so we'd be garlicky? Or am I going to come out flat and runny? I don't know. Anyways, food for thought. Get it? Food for thought? No? All right. I'm going to go. That was the thing that I was thinking about today as I was trying to survive life, which I did. I'm still alive, but I got a few hours left, Day by day, my friends, day by day. Follow me, please. I think there's some struggle on whether or not I'm on like the Google Play Store. So if you have an Android, can you double check that for me? I'd appreciate it. Just look up Finding the Fantastic on any podcast app. Follow me on Facebook. Share the word. Share the news. Also, if you know Ellen or know anybody who works for Ellen, I really would seriously love to be on her show or a TED Talk. All right, I gotta go. That's it for the podcast.